Yo guys, what is going on? JP is back from another video, and today we're going to be reacting to the best fish and chips in London. I don't know about you, but I am an absolute fan of fish and chips. I don't know if they're made the same in the United States, but we have Irish pubs all over the place. I mean, and fish and chips are probably my favorite thing to order. But anyways, if you're new here, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and we're going to see how fish and chips are made in London. And whenever people on this channel mention, going to the pub or whatever, they either mention having a Sunday roast or getting some fish and chips and stuff like that. So I think it's a super popular thing, maybe even the most popular in the UK in terms of pub food. Let me know if that's wrong. I don't know, honestly. I'm just we're gonna find out. But here are the best fish and chips in London. And this is from the Food Insider channel, which I really like all their videos like this. And yeah, comment anything you want me to check out in the future down below. And let's get right into it. That's a big old fish. Oh, sorry. I forgot to add something. My favorite part is probably the tartar sauce. That's what we have over here. I don't know if that's a sauce you use. We'll find out.
Hey guys, it's June.
And it's Harry.
And today we're going around 5 of London's best fish and chip shops to find the best fish and chips in London.
So what makes great fish and chips? We're going to be judging ours on 5 criteria. The fish itself, we want flaky batter. We want crispy batter that snaps when you bite into it. And the fish, we want to be really flaky inside and have just really nice flavor. The chips, we want nice and crispy on the outside, fluffy on the inside, and well seasoned with salt and vinegar. And then also we're going to look at price as well. Are there any tourist trap spots that are going to rip you off?
So it's 7:30 in the morning and we are starting our journey at Billingsgate
7:30.
Market. This place is a proper old East End institution. It's the biggest fish market in the UK, so lots of things to check out inside, including the Billingsgate Cafe where we start our journey.
So I don't know about you, Ju, but I'm ready to eat some fish and chips.
Yes, let's
go.
I've been working down in the fish market since '97. We cook fish, we do breakfast, we basically cater for the market. It's a tradition. A lot of people come down here to get fresh fish, don't they? A lot of people.
Let me know if you've been to any of these places.
Thank you.
Ooh. That looks good.
Ju, visually, talk to me about your first impressions of this fish.
Well, this is literally the biggest plate of fish and chips I think I've ever had. It's come in almost just like this wonderful circular display, which I'm absolutely loving. There's a lot of salad and red onion, some coleslaw on the plate. The overbearing thing on this plate though is this huge wad of chips here.
So the fish, a little bit unusual in a couple of ways. Firstly, it's sea bass, which is not the average fish that tends to get served in London's fish and chip shops. You're usually looking at more sort of cod or like a flaky fish like that. Also, they don't batter the fish here, which I'm actually slightly disappointed in because they just dredge it in flour and then fry it. And you don't get quite the same level of crisp with just a flour dredge as opposed to batter. But, I'm willing to be convinced, and hopefully the fish inside is going to taste really good.
Chip chips.
It's a really good chip.
It's a good chip.
It's a good chip.
It's not greasy, it's just that you can basically taste the oil rather than an overwhelming potato taste. But it's nice, it's really light. I feel like getting through that would be quite easy.
Very easy. Particularly given how wide the surface area is on these flatter chips. They have actually got the inside quite nice and fluffy, which is good, and that's one of our criteria that we're looking for. Again, just on paper and just structurally, I'm still not sure about if it's a fish and chip shop chip, but it tastes good. It's okay. I think we need to try the fish.
We do need to try the fish.
I'm going to grab my fork.
Oh. The taste of the actual fish inside of what's extremely light floury batter is unbelievably good.
That's really good fish. It's flaky, which is, again, one of our criteria that we're looking for. Just kind of almost like falls apart and melts in your mouth. Really well seasoned.
This is it's just really lovely quality fish. I think you can just taste the freshness. Like, it hasn't travelled, you know, from miles across London. It's just come like straight here in the morning. Probably arrived here at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and then we're eating it at like 7, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
So this costs £10, which is roughly about $13. I feel like this is a good filling fish breakfast, which is not a sentence that I've said before. So good value for money. It's cheap as chips.
That was corny.
Next, we travel to the Golden Chippy in southeast London, which is the #1 ranked fish and chip shop on TripAdvisor. We're going to check it out and see if it lives up to its reviews.
I need to check some of these places out.
My name is Chris. I'm from Cyprus. I came here when I was 17 years old. I was hoping to become a surgeon of the humans. I ended up being surgeon of the fish. Golden Chippy have been open for 15 years. I started it from scratch, but these hens been playing with fish for 42 years now. With the secret recipe of the batter, cooked at the right temperature, sitting there for 1 or 2 minutes to drain properly, gives it that fantastic crispy finish, which is very light butter, very tasty fish, and not greasy at all.
My mouth's watering.
So we've got this absolutely massive plate of cod and chips here with a nice load of mushy peas at the side and some salad.
So just looking at this, I am super excited to tuck in. The batter is like visibly crispy, and the chips as well. These are like proper chip shop chips. We've got that kind of that thickness on all sides, nice and golden brown on the outside. I'm hoping nice and light and fluffy on the inside, but we're going to find out.
Whoa. So in the last place, they didn't put ketchup on the chips. We call them fries. I never eat them without ketchup, so let me know if that's a thing. You just eat them. I guess they're already... He mentioned something about vinegar, which is not something we do here either, so that's interesting. I should try that. Ooh.
Okay, cheers. This is like so
You should see
unbelievably
right away.
smooth and just like a really, really nice sort of like fish blow texture. It's just absolutely melting in my mouth.
This is worthy of the first "Oh my cod" of the day.
No, oh, you stole my pun!
Got him with the
stole
pun.
my
I hate that pun.
Oh, Haddock, you got some of your own puns, Harry.
The batter is extremely crispy. It's lives up to how it looked, and you really get that nice texture of the contrast of textures between the crisp of the batter and the flaky, soft melt in the mouth fish. It's really, really good. So we saw them preparing these chips from scratch out the back, which is great because you know they're not just buying in a frozen thing. This is like a freshly made, freshly peeled potato.
Taste potato, which is always good for chippy chips. Like normally with chippy chips it might be a little bit too greasy, but this is just, I mean, the taste of the potato inside is obviously coming through.
Also, they fry it in just the same oil as the fish, so I'm getting like almost a little fishy taste from it. It's like the
I
whole
love the fishy taste.
Are those peas? Mashed peas? I've never even seen that.
We head up to our third stop, Hook, in North London.
Ooh. Hook.
We wanted to do something different to the traditional fish and chips dish by adding tempura and panko and flavouring them and doing a more new school take.
Okay.
We predominantly use tempura batter because it allows us to be consistently creative and infuse different flavours with our fresh fish. So we are bringing a new school kind of vibe to fish and chips, something that's cool and quite exciting.
That's interesting. Looks pretty good though.
So we are at our third location. This is Hook in Camden, and we've just been given some garlic truffle mayo, some seaweed salted chips, nice little wodge of lemon, and this lovely piece of sea bream with basil and lemon tempura. It smells amazing. It's just arrived at our table.
The chips are interesting. They're kind of like a cross between chips and potato wedges because they're really thin, but they've still got the skin on the fries. Not the sort of conventional fish and chip shop fry, but I'm hoping that the garlic mayo is going to kick it up a gear.
It's really lemony. Like you can really taste the lemon coming through. And the tempura is like extremely thin. It's very like light crisp to it, but I think that there's such moisture in the fish that that's really the overwhelming texture that comes through.
The fish is like butter. It really kind of just dissolves in your mouth almost, and has like quite a lot of richness to it. I think the bream in comparison to maybe the cod that we've had earlier, the taste of the fish is really good.
The descriptiveness of their words is making my mouth water. Hey.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I kind of don't miss tartar sauce now. I think this is a really lovely like buttery taste to go with the buttery texture of the fish.
I think that's the key. It's so buttery. It's really rich. It's almost like a garlic butter.
Yeah, the garlic butter with the really buttery fish, and then these are actually lighter than they look. So they look like it's quite like a thick like texture to that, but it's not. I think that like for the quality of the texture and like the size of the portion, like this seems very reasonable. Also, we're in a slightly more like upmarket, like nice restaurant rather than being somewhere that can effectively like wrap your chips up in a piece of newspaper and casually give it to you. Like this is more of a fine dining experience, which I'd expect to pay a little bit more for.
And also this whole sustainability approach which they've taken is really great, and obviously you end up paying a little bit more for that, but worthwhile because the end product is really good.
Okay.
Now we move on to our next stop, which is Poppy's in central London.
So many restaurants.
Now Poppy's has 3 locations in central London. It's got a little bit of a reputation for being touristy, but it's not all bad.
It's actually got quite a nice history behind it. It was started in 1952 by Pops, who started as a teenager wrapping up fish and chips in copies of newspaper. So like feeling a little bit of a traditional vibe here, but obviously because it is a chain, will that affect the quality? So this is a regular size cod at Poppy's. Obviously we've got an absolutely massive amount of chips and quite like an achievable size cod, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, we're reaching the point in the day where I'm already getting quite full, so it's nice to see that the cod isn't too ridiculous. But
this is like quite light, like quite kind of skimpy chips, I would say. Like they're chippy chips, but they don't look like kind of overly golden, like overly brown. And we were a little bit confused as to whether this was battered or breaded cod, because it's such a like light and actually quite like bumpy texture to the batter that, I mean, it's battered cod, but I guess we'll find out what it's going to taste like.
Okay. I'm not even the biggest fan of fish, but I really love fish and chips.
Oh, that's crunchy batter.
I would probably say the fish probably has the least taste of any ones that we've tried today.
Yeah, I know that all of their fish comes fresh each day from Billingsgate Market, so this is definitely like the same sort of supply fish that we've seen before.
They gave them the crappy ones.
It's as light as well. There's just not as much of a fishiness to it, I would say.
Yeah, just not a lot of flavour coming through from there. Not in an unpleasant way, you know. The batter is good, it lets the batter shine a little bit. Yeah, let's give these chips a try. Yeah, these very much fit my idea of like a classic chippy chip. You do get maybe a little bit underdone compared to one of the ones that we've had today. You don't get quite as much crunch on the outside, but the inside you really do get a lovely fried potatoey flavour, and it is nice and fluffy as well.
Yeah, very fluffy, and then in parts you can see a little bit of skin on. So I kind of like that roughness of them, like that's a classic chippy chip. You're looking for a little bit of skin, a little tiny bit of crunch, but mostly it's all about just the quality of the potato inside.
That's ketchup right there. I just saw ketchup. Tell me I'm wrong. That's ketchup, right? Let me know. Pretty sure. I'm not crazy, am I?
We move on to our final stop, fine dining seafood restaurant, Body Gull.
Fine dining, huh? Ooh, that looks fancy. Hey.
So what you like?
Yo! Oh my god, that is a masterpiece. Look at that.
Looking at now is Bonnie-Gull's take on
It's in a seashell. The tartar sauce. Is that tartar sauce?
fish and chips. So what we have is a beer battered haddock. We have chips which are cooked in beef dripping, and we have a homemade tartar sauce and mushy peas as well. It looks incredible. Ju, what are your thoughts?
Well, it almost just looks like too good to eat. It's just like a work of art on a plate. It's just, I don't even know how they get the fish to stand up like that in the batter. Very, very mesmerising. I'm actually really looking forward to trying this.
Oh my god. I need that.
Oh wow.
Did you hear that crunch?
Really buttery, really melt in the mouth texture on the inside, but just the batter is just, I could just eat the batter, just have a snack pocket of that batter and just snack on it all day long.
I need that. I need that. Hey, these beats are nice in the background.
You know it's good when the chip also has a crunch sound.
A little bit. That was really fluffy on the inside. Yeah, I think that gives it more of like a, like you say, a roast potato vibe that you'd expect with a roast dinner.
Everything on this plate is like encased in something wonderful. So like the fish is encased in this amazing batter, the potatoes are encased in this really, really great crispiness. It's almost like little joys hidden inside joys.
The verdict. Here we go.
So here we are. We've had our 5 fish and chips, we've had some time to think about what our favourite was, and now we're outside Tower Bridge in London and we're ready to give you our answer.
It's time to reveal our favourite. Should we go on 3?
On 3.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Bonnie-Gull.
Golden Chippy. Oh, we've disagreed.
Okay. Yeah, we can't actually decide on one together then. Why did you pick Golden Chippy?
For me, Golden Chippy took the crown because it was just like the quintessential chip shop experience in terms of the food, where you get that flaky fish, crispy batter, chunky chips, and for me, yeah, it was just classic fish and chips.
Okay, I see your point. I picked Bonnie-Gull because the quality and standard of the food that we saw that day was like so much better than everything else that we tasted. I just thought the batter was perfect and the size of those chips, like who couldn't love them?
So, as hard as this is going to be, we weren't here to pick the best 2, we were here to pick the best fish and chips in London. Can I convince you to come over to the side of Golden Chippy?
Okay, I can be convinced to go over to Golden Chippy only because I think that as a fish and chips, proper English fish and chips experience, it gives you that in a way that fine dining at Bonnie-Gull doesn't. So I think in terms of like all-round food plus the proper authentic experience. Okay, I'm gonna go for Golden Chippy. I can move over to Golden Chippy. But Bonnie-Gull was delicious.
No, Bonnie-Gull, I get what they're saying, yeah. Golden Chippy's a traditional, but Bonnie-Gull looks so, that batter, oh my gosh. All right, those were the best fish and chips in London. Like I said, if you visited any of these places and eaten at any of these restaurants before, make sure you comment down below. And even if you haven't, what do you think was the best one from what you saw? I gotta go with Bonnie-Gull. I mean, it was like that, like, it was a parabola. How do you make a fish a parabola? But yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. Make sure you comment anything you want me to check out in the future down below. Hit that like button, subscribe, and I'm gonna catch you in the next video.